Everybody's just hoarding it. It's like it was
Exactly.
2 years ago.
Exactly.
I was guilty. I did that.
Did you believe it?
Hello, hello,
Yeah,
hello.
she's got 2 bags of.
Hey,
Because
hello everybody.
I got lucky with the big 2 more maxi bags.
Hello,
But I
hello.
needed the 5 and the 8.
So you can.
Okay, we're getting ready here.
Oh,
Okay, just you see, Ooh, the backstage of live right now. This side, yes. Okay, let me turn this around so we can join and wait for people here. Say hello to Lonnie. Yay! So, tell us where are you connecting from today? Here. Let me see here. Yeah, it sold out so fast. I know. It just got here like for an hour and it sold out. It was just impressive, really, guys. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna switch here. Let's see. From here, okay. Okay, how do you see it? Do you hear me? Hey! Let's see. Okay. What time is it? See?
Get a nice and cool in here for you too.
Okay. Hey! Okay, let's see. If you have any questions, please. You have the question box there. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Okay. Are we ready, Lonnie?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, guys. So we want to welcome Lonnie. Okay.
Hi.
She's a regular here at PS Helium. Okay. Thank you for connecting, guys. I know we have taken a little bit of your time on a Thursday, but we have been delaying this live for a couple of weeks. But thank goodness we can make it after graduation season.
That's
that has
right.
been busy, crazy, but thank goodness everybody has been busy and doing well in their businesses. And so we're gonna have like a little conversation with Lonnie, and she's gonna teach us a little bit of how she does her thing and how she runs her business, and specifically about her toolbox, okay, and her toolkit. So if you have any questions, please just place them there, and we're gonna trying to answer them while we are talking here, okay? So welcome everybody.
Hey, Linda, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Wait, you're not going to be standing next to me?
Okay, I can be
Come
next to
on.
you. Come on,
That'd
Lonnie.
be like a
No,
normal conversation.
I'm usually to the side and just, you know, like going around the place. So that's why.
Okay, well, you're going to be next to me today.
Today. Okay.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, balloon season and busy season is in full swing right now. All right, we're gonna get through the technical difficulties. Anyway, it's in full swing, and the best way to maximize your time when you're out on installs and when you have busy Saturdays, ready for Fridays, or what have you, is to be as prepared as you can.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Aside from the obvious, and if you can, if it's possible, to inflate your balloons as much as you can prior. But in addition to that, you need to have as many tools in your tool belt or toolkit as you possibly can, because as you know, when you get to an install, there's a zillion things that can happen and that do happen, right?
That might go wrong, and you need to be prepared for those
Right,
things.
right. So people have different toolkits. People will have like a container. They'll have like a toolbox. I have a It's called a bog bag. I'm
Really?
looking on and getting one of those pull toolkits or whatever.
Can you show your bag again?
Yeah,
please,
yeah,
Lonnie?
sure.
Yeah.
This is called a bog bag, but you can get them on it. You can get them on Amazon. There's knockoffs that you can get. I got mine on Poshmark, but it's pretty awesome. It's durable. It doesn't matter if you spill something in it. It's not going to break. It's not going to tear. It's going to hold everything that I need. And what I like about this is I can put it in any vehicle that I'm in, whether it be a van or a truck, or if I'm squeezing balloons in my car. It works, but eventually I'm probably going to need to expand. But right now, this is what I'm going with. So in it, the most important thing, and I think this is maybe kind of obvious, right, is your pump, right? And this you can get at, you guys have these here, right?
Yeah, we do have them here. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of times I've seen, because I've assisted other artists or whatever, they go with all of their balloons at the event, which I think is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a nervous Nelly, and I have to have this pump with me. But side note, one way to kind of be prepared is ask as many questions as you can, because sometimes you're not going to have a power source.
No.
Right? So I've got an event coming up that I don't have one, so I have to do everything ahead of time. But anyway, if you don't, power source, and then in addition to the pump, make sure you have an extension cord.
Okay.
Because you don't want to be running around back and forth. It's going to save you a lot of time if you can get your pump close to you.
Okay.
Right? So that's the biggest thing. Second thing, hand pump. Right? I have been to installs where I forgot my pump at another one, which is lots of fun. So I had to finish the big ones, which I typically blow up like my 24-inch, my 36-inch on site, just because they're pricier, right? And I don't want to take the chance of them popping on the way. But yeah, I did those bad boys with this guy, which is amazing. I don't know about you, but the first few garlands that I did with this thing, and you know the plastic
The
strip.
plastic thing with the little holes, and you place all the balloons inside, you know, like
like that. Oh god, it took me about 5 hours. Anyway, but this thing comes in handy also with your Mylar balloons and your Starburst balloons. I think it was Judy that taught me that you don't want to blow up your Starburst balloons with your pump, because you don't want to blow it up with hot air. You want to blow it up with cold, or if you can have access to nitrogen, that's great too.
Yeah.
Right. But these are what you want to use, your Starburst and your foil balloons, because they'll have a longer life.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're gonna have your room temperature going through those kind of pumps. Not on this one, because it's gonna get much more heat on these. Yeah.
That right. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Thank
Yeah,
you, Linda.
That's why I'm here. You see.
That's right. Something else. That,
Okay, guys, if you have any questions while we're talking here with Lonnie, or tell us, like, commenting whatever you're doing on your toolkit or whatever you have, please just put it in the comments and in the questions here so we
Yeah.
can answer, okay?
We're always learning, so if you guys want to add anything, that's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue, Jelani. What else do you have in
Okay.
your toolkit?
So when I bring my garlands, I usually bring a base, right?
Okay.
So my base usually consists of like my 11-inch and my 17-inch.
Mhm.
So when I get to an install, I'll add on what I call the babies, my 5 inches,
Yeah.
and then my larger ones, the 24 and 36. So in order to do that, I use cut 260s. I know there's a lot of different methods. There's what's called like the barbell method, where you tie two clusters together and put one of these in between.
So you use pretty much like the 260 and you cut it in half.
Yes, I use
Yes?
Qualitex 260s for everything. I think that I've deviated a few times, but I don't really like the way that it works out. So I take the Qualitex 260s and I cut them in half, and I do that prior. And I typically like to go with the kind of color of whatever I'm installing. But if I don't have time, I'm just gonna use what I have, and you can hide it
Yeah.
or whatever. But it's a time saver to cut it in half, so you're not sitting there trying to cut them in half. And I know there's a lot
Do you think that you're saving a lot of 260 just by doing that, like working with halves whenever you have your 5s?
I think so, because a lot of times if I'm using a non-cut 260, I have a lot of extra, and also there's slack, and I don't want that. That's why when I put garlands together, I use 260s versus fishing line. I just don't work well with it, and so I prefer to do 260s because the slack is less. And I learned from you and Linda at installs that we worked on together. I mean, you and Judy, I'm sorry, on installs we worked together, that this can go really far, a half one. So you're gonna save time, you're gonna save money if you cut them, and then you're gonna have a tighter garland.
Okay. Just let's keep in mind that everybody has their own style on how to do things. Okay,
Sure.
so some people might do some fishing line, some people might tie with the 260s,
Yep.
and some people tie by the neck.
Some
So-
tie by the neck. I've seen where people use rubber bands that they'll tie around the cluster, and then they'll put it around the balloon, and then just kind of arrange it. Then they'll tie it by the neck, and then they'll do like what's called our barbell method. So you'll take a longer 260 and tie 2 smaller clusters. I think I learned that from Sharp Designs by Lakeisha on YouTube. So that's a technique that she does. But yeah, whatever works for everybody. It's just kind of what I'm used to.
I just pinned your Instagram because they're asking what's your account.
Oh,
So,
thank
okay.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, she's 3 Bright Lights Balloons. Okay, Lonnie.
Hi.
Okay, what else, Lonnie?
Okay, so balloon string. It's essential to have if you run out of 260s. This is something else that sometimes people use as a preference to build garlands with. Also, you never know if you're going to need to tie down something, and there's some other things that I use for this as well. But if you're using helium, it's just a good idea to have this on hand. There's a million different uses for it. And if I get low like I am right now, I get a little nervous because I always like to have
Some
it with
people
me.
are saying that they use 350s instead of the 260s.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because maybe they're heavy-handed and the 260s may rip in their hands.
Yep.
So that's why they switch to 350s.
Okay.
So for the people that don't know,
I'll have to try that.
we do carry some of the 350s.
You have the 350s here?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
So have you used these before?
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah, whenever you think like it's not gonna hold it with the 260s, those are thicker and they go a longer way. So
This is probably essential for like something that you're doing like high up if you know gravity's gonna pull on it. I've seen people double up the 260s, but this is kind of the same thing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Something that I cannot live without and won't ever be able to live without, but there are these DDMY hooks. If you haven't seen them, they're amazing. Pro tip, don't use them inside your home like I did. Luckily it was in my home and not somebody else's. But what's really cool about these is they will hold outdoors and they're very, very, very sticky. They're great, but keep in mind that if you ever use these in colder weather, it's not really something we have to worry about now. You need to warm them up.
Yeah,
I learned that from Linda and Judy. You've got to warm them up. But these are amazing, and I think you guys have examples somewhere, right?
Yes.
Of how these look.
They're asking about right now for summer. What brands of balloons do you use and why do you like them?
Tough Tex is my go-to for outdoor balloons. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that their parent company, Maple City Rubber, are the ones that make the balloons that are outside of car dealerships, right? And so they're meant to last outside. I did an install this weekend and I used black balloons outside, which is kind of a big no-no to use darker colors. It's not something we as like balloon people, I guess, if that's what we are.
Yeah, but we know that graduations pretty much are more black and
They're
silver and
darker
gold.
colors.
Darker colors.
They're darker
you know?
colors, and you can't get away from that. And people want it. So if you can encourage your clients to keep them shaded or indoors as long as possible, but if you can't, just go with it. Some clients really like a matte look, and you know what, we all know what balloons do outside. They oxidize, they tend to look chalky or matte, but there are solutions for that, and those are things that you absolutely can't live without right now. I've just discovered Mega Shine.
Tell us why do you like Mega Shine?
This is no joke. What's really cool about Mega Shine, and before Mega Shine, I used Balloon Glow. I think I have it right here, which I really, really, really
we
like.
have this presentation.
Yeah, so these are this spray bottle that comes in, and this is the refill bottle. I really like Balloon Glow. I like the way it sprays. I like the coverage.
Did you use
So yeah, I use the clear one. I haven't used the professional. Have you used this one yet?
Not yet.
Okay, well, so I have experience with this Balloon Glow. It's amazing because it goes on evenly. There's no wiping involved. I think with some other brands that there's wiping involved, and in my mind, I'm like, I don't have time for that. So, but this does a really great shine. What I like about this is the sprayer. It's got a sprayer, kind of like hairspray, and it smells like hairspray. So when it fogs up the room, people are like, oh, that smells so good. What is that? Like I had a bunch of people ask me this weekend. Like,
There's some people that they're saying that they use hairspray, that they've been seeing that to use hairspray on the balloons. Have you tried it?
I haven't tried it yet. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I literally just saw it yesterday. I'm excited to try it, but until then, I've got this, and what I like about it is the reach. It's got that aerosol spray, and it reaches really, really far, and the look of it is amazing. The difference, if your balloons have been outside for even just a few minutes, I had balloons in a U-Haul this weekend for 6 hours, and then they were outdoors before I was able to install them. I put them put them up, sprayed all this on it, and they were like new. And I think it's really cool to watch that process. I'm a balloon nerd, so I can look at it and see what it does, and it just completely brings your balloons back to life.
Okay.
So I think that's amazing.
Do you think that you can use like a can for an install, or it depends on how many balloons you're gonna use, like for a garland and so on? You're gonna use it all?
I think you're going to use it all. If you're outside in the Georgia heat from now until October, November,
yeah.
when the weather changes. But Friday, I was doing an install. I ran out. Right? So make sure to just always have a backup, because you really never know like how much the install was probably about 30 feet, and it covered about half. So, but luckily the balloons were far apart. So on one side they were nice and shiny. The other side they were matte. It wasn't awful. It was navy, and navy's a little thicker.
Talking about the balloons being matte and how do they oxidize during summer, what's like a recommendation to say to the customers, like prior of the event? Okay, yes, we are aware they're going to have an outdoor event. So how can you approach the customers telling them that their balloons are not going to be shiny the whole event? You know, like,
so that's
what
a
do you
conversation I have with them straight away up front. I feel like it's our responsibility as a professional to educate them on that. When they tell me their color scheme, because that's one of the first questions I ask, is what is your color scheme? Because that's how we know which direction we're gonna go. Really, is hey, just to let you know, because people don't know. People, unless you're in this industry, you really have no idea. Hey, when balloons are outside, they're going to turn a different color, or they'll be subject to pop. Like if you're going to have gold or silver or black, you're just going to hear random pops. And that happened at an install. I think it was last September that I did. I got calls and they were like, yeah, we just heard random pops. I was like, well, I let you know. you're gonna hear that. So as long as you educate them, and if they're okay with it, then you've got the go ahead. There's all kind of factors involved when installing outdoors, and it's really kind of your discretion if that's something that you want to do. Right? If you feel comfortable enough, and how much you've let the client know, like, hey, this could be what's happened. But make sure they really hear you, because sometimes they don't. It's just people, all right? I think that's how people are. But I think a lot of people want what they want, right? And if you're prepared, right? If you've got shine, if you've got enough material to secure your balloons outside, because wind is also a factor, right? If you've ever tried installing balloons in a pool, balloons, like, you know,
you go inside the pool sometimes.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. So it's just a matter of educating the client and letting them know, like, hey, this is a risk, and if they're cool with it, then great. But if you can, as much as you can, try to encourage them to get it into shade.
Okay, if you run out of, for example, of Mega Shine, do you mix up with whatever you get? If you have High Shine or the Balloon Glow Pro, like,
I would use Balloon Glow Pro all day. That's what I used first, and that's what I thought I couldn't live without until this product came out. But now, if I run out, because I've heard of the hairspray hack, I'll be running to wherever.
Pharmacy, get it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, I know it's there, and so I think that's really cool. I had to install this past Sunday, and it was massive. The client really liked the matte balloons. She really, really, really liked them. So she wanted half the install to be shiny and half of them matte. Great.
Worked for me.
Yeah, it worked for me. I think that I've seen on Instagram, on people's stories, and people talking, balloon artists talking, that they are charging more for outdoor installs. That makes sense, because you might be using more material. Your balloons could pop during installs, so they become thinner, and so there are times when they pop on you and you need to be able to replace them, so that's more material. This is going to cost you more, so that's something that I would absolutely encourage.
What do you think about some other fellow artists that say, like, okay, I'm not going to take any outdoor events?
So I respect their decision, right? Because because I've installed so much outdoors, and I think that you have too. I think that, didn't you go to install and it like downpoured? Yeah. Right? That's completely up to them. If they're not comfortable and they don't want to do it, then more power to them. That's great. I think that every situation is different. Every install is different. Which is kind of why I don't ever have like a set price list. That's something that, because you can't, how can you, right? There are some installs that are very small, that are grab and goes type of situations. There's some that are just completely massive, that are going to take up a 26-foot U-Haul truck or what have you. So I just don't think that for me, I can't make a blanket statement. Like, I'm never going to do that. I don't know if I'm there yet.
Okay.
But I think it's cool if people are saying that. Like, I understand why, because I've seen so many different things happen.
Do you have a minimum for your orders?
I do. When I first started, I didn't. The first class I ever took was from Jesus with Ramus Balloons, and he gave the tip to start off on thumbtack, and that's what I did, and that was an experience. But it got me experience, right? I got a lot of practice under my belt, and that was fantastic. So it kind of just paid for cost of balloons, but I was able to like establish a sort of portfolio. My minimum now is $300. If they want something less, because we will have people like, hey, I just want something small. Absolutely, I've got a grab and go option, like something that you can pick up or whatever. And I had one lady that met me at install and just picked them up from me there. So I think it's just a matter of situation. But right now, based on cost of everything, because I think just
everything is up.
Everything is up. Like, it's just not. I don't want to say not worth it, because I don't want to sound ungrateful or whatever. I have 3 small children at home. Like, I just can't be away from them. That's kind of my minimum threshold, and I think that maybe that'll change. But right now, that's where it's at.
Okay, good. So we're gonna continue with the toolkit here, but we have different questions, so we are just like answering those while we go. Okay.
Okay. So next, I've got packing tape.
Okay.
Which is really great for lots of reasons, because this material is essential for a million things. What I really use it for is when I'm installing a Mylar balloon. I'll either double wrap it on the back, or I'll take a 260, kind of like you did with the gaffer tape, and tape a 260 like crossways.
Like an H there.
Yeah, like an H on the back of a Mylar. I've seen Judy do that, and then just attach it. But this comes in a lot of handy for that. Today I installed 16-inch balloons, so I just double wrapped it. 16-inch letter balloons onto a small garland, and so I just attached these on, and they stayed, and they're pretty secure, which is great. So it's good to have this for a bazillion things, but that is really the main thing I use it for. Fishing line is essential. Can't live without fishing line. This is great for kind of securing any kind of backdrop that you have. Today I did install an Aeropole system, and it was kind of leaning because it was very heavy. So I took the fishing line and I wrapped it around a part of it and a pole, and just kind of like wrapped it. And so now it stood straight up. And then I did it on the bottom, and I used one of these hooks to attach to the floor. I think I've seen you do that. And secured it on the other side. And you can't see it. So I just made sure it was out of the way. But it's something that helps everything stay secure. And also, like, if you're using helium balloons and you don't want to see the string, like, you can use the fishing line for that.
Okay. Another way I've been using the fishing line, for example, is whenever you have the panels with fabric.
Yep.
Just to get a needle and thread that with the needle.
You take a needle in your balloon kit?
Yeah, I have a needle.
I'm running with you guys. How about this? You have a needle in your balloon kit.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't even have a pole on the top, and you need to have like a little hole there.
Or just shoving with love.
Just shove it like a little cluster there. So just a needle there, just tie it, and
and it secures it.
And it secures it with the fishing line.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's why I call you the balloon ninja. Linda and Judy are the balloon ninjas, if y'all didn't know.
She's too, okay? That's why she's here.
I'm not. They're amazing. If you ever see them work, they're quicker than lightning. It's so cool.
What else? What else do you have here?
Gaffer tape.
Okay. What's your experience with gaffer tape?
You know what to do with this.
I've been hearing like people ripping walls and all that, But
I haven't ripped a wall.
But I want to hear your experience.
So my experience, it's super challenging to use this and for it to work if it's hot indoors. So that's what happened, and I was really fine. So because I've got the command strips that you use when you're installing indoors.
So I can.
I have a love-hate relationship with command strips. They're my frenemy. I tell everyone, like, you have to really talk nice.
Look at the size of this command that Lonnie uses. It's very big. Those are for that 10 pound?
I think it's a 2, 3, or a 5.
5 pound this ones? Okay. Yeah. See? And she attached her 260s here with some hot glue.
And you just get crazy with it. Just get crazy with the hot glue. And then when you're putting the command hooks on the wall, this is for when you're attaching balloon garlands to a wall. If you're not attaching it to something that you have, like, or they have a backdrop, you hang out with it. You just put it on the wall and stay there for like 30 seconds.
I don't know. Sometimes I've been there like 30 seconds with this, and it
comes off anyway. Well, so that's why I say a minute. Like, you have to talk nice to it, say a little prayer,
please,
make
please
friends with
stay
it,
there.
say sweet nothings. But it's a love-hate. So this is kind of a hit or a miss. I get nervous when I'm installing at a client's home indoors on their walls if I'm not using one of my backdrops.
What do you say to clients whenever you're installing and placing one of the command hooks or using any adhesives to their walls? What do you tell clients?
I let them know, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm using non-damaging command strips, and I haven't had anyone yet be like, what's that? Like, pretty much everyone's familiar with the 3M command strips.
Okay.
And so I make sure to let them know, like, hey, when you take this down,
100% fire,
pull,
hard.
pull the tab. And one client, it happened in December, she's like, please just use command strips. It was at a hotel in Atlanta, and I did, and her crew, when they were taking them down, didn't do it right. So you have to, like, stress and make sure, like, to stress again, because again, I think it's just human nature. Like, we kind of hear what we want to, and people are distracted or whatever. But, like, make sure they're looking in the eye, looking at you, and hearing what you're saying. Like, hey, because you don't want it to come back on you when they're the ones doing it. I typically don't strike. It's very rare that I do. If I do,
talking about striking, like, if somebody asks you to go and strike, what will be your fee? How do you charge for it?
it depends on where it is.
Okay.
I live in Brazelton, which is kind of South Carolina as far as I'm concerned.
Almost there, okay?
It's 85 north. So if I'm coming back to strike, it's no less than 150.
Okay.
And I like to give a high fee for striking.
Not to go.
Not to go. Really. Like, if I'm just being like, really, I don't want to do it. And a lot of times, like, for them to pop the balloons, like, most of the time it's going to take them 10 to 20 minutes max. And sometimes people like to do it. It's gratifying, like, to just get after it or whatever. But it's got to be worth my time. And it's usually on days where you're very busy, like on weekends, on a Saturday or Sunday, when you've pulled a 12-hour day. The last thing you want to do is go strike. All right. I know that people do it. I'm not knocking it at all. But just for me and what works for me and my family, like, it's going to be a pretty few.
So three bright light balloons, pretty much. You just do balloons.
Yes, we do balloons and we've got backdrops, but that's it. And that's interesting that you asked that, because we get a lot of questions. Like, do you do balloons? Do you do decor? No, I want to be like Chick-fil-A and do one thing really, really well. And that's it. And I've run into people that want, I just wanted somebody that could do it all. And I'm like, that's fantastic. I'll refer you to an event planner. I made the mistake of trying to book marquee lights on my own. And there's a couple of vendors that I work with. I won't do that in the future because it takes up a lot of your time. And as a balloon artist, like, we spend a lot of our time preparing, right? Of getting things ready, of looking for material, and are living our lives, right? So it takes a lot of time, and I'm not comfortable knowing how to compensate for that kind of time. I just am not there yet. So yes, just balloon decor. I've got a lot of wood panels. I've got a lot of good backdrop sands, and I think that's just, I've gotten it little by little as I've progressed. It's almost been 2 years since I started. My favorite one that I got is this grid stand that you guys have. That's probably the favorite one that I've worked with. PS Helium offers a really cool round white grid stand that I like. But yeah, so that's it for right now. Yeah,
okay.
Good question.
Yeah.
So something else I always keep is the full 260s, not just the cut up ones. The U-glue strips. Have you seen those?
We have the one in the box. That's the one that we sell here. We used to have this, right, Bill? Not anymore?
I think that's why. I think I got it here.
Yeah, it's very similar to the one that's.
Yeah, it's the one from the box. I'm going to show you.
U-glue strips are really great for attaching Mylar balloons to a garland as well.
Yeah, so
and also for balloon mosaics.
okay.
Cool. Yep. That, and then I keep a razor blade, because you never know if you've put up something wrong. I've done that once or twice. Where
That's so fun.
It's so fun. A lady came out. I was doing an install, and she was like, "Hey, I want it here and here and here," and kind of pointed to an area, and I was like, "Okay, great." And I did it. And she came out. She's like, "Wrong place." I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay."
Wow.
So I had to take it down, and so this is essential. Something else that I keep in my balloon kit are multiple pairs of scissors.
How many scissors?
I have 3 in there. And the reason is because I don't wear an apron. And I've seen a lot of balloon artists wear an apron, which is amazing to have. For some reason, it's just, It's just not my thing. And be very smart.
Are you're gonna dig up apron or not yet?
I'm not there yet, but PS Helium carries a really great one. I need to get with the program. But this apron would be essential because it could have all the things in it. And if I had an apron, I maybe wouldn't lose all of my scissors. But 9 times out of 10, a client or another vendor is going to ask to use them. And I don't want to be left without. I honestly don't want to say no. I want to be helpful. That's just kind of my personality. So I carry multiple. And if I lose it, I'm not really upset. And most of the time, I've got a busy day and I've got back-to-back stuff going on. So I need my scissors. It's like kind of the main thing I need aside from my pump.
Yeah, for example, the apron is so handy whenever I work a lot in ladders and tall things. And when you're gonna be coming down and up, you need to have everything in your pockets.
It'll save you
And save you so much time.
I know,
you
Linda.
know? Yeah.
No, you're right. Okay.
You need.
I'm not making any promises.
If not, it's gonna be an apron, a fanny pack. You know, something like to have here. Okay.
Maybe a fanny pack.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not making
A cool one,
promises,
okay?
But I'm
A cool one, Lonnie.
all right.
Okay.
Well, I'm not making promises. Okay. So this is something else. Our balloon weights.
Okay.
Because
Why?
why?
What do you use balloon weights? You don't make your own balloon weights? Tell us.
No.
Why? That's fine.
How do you do that, Linda? How do you
I'm
make
just
your
asking.
own balloon weight?
No, no,
Do you
with-
you put sand in a balloon?
No, forget about that. I tried it and it was just terrible.
So what do you
No, you double stuff one balloon and then you place your water inside and have your heavy balloon
do
weight.
you do that prior?
Yes, I do, because sometimes I need to have the balloons like on the floor and they need to be stick there, not floating, you know, like a cloud.
Yeah.
So I use some of the water weights.
Bill.
What? What did he say? What did he say?
She's not cheap. She's smart. She's smart. I don't think she's the only one. I just haven't ventured out into making my own balloon weights.
No, but
yet.
that's fine. Yeah, because other people use the weight, and that's completely reasonable. Some places they might not allow to get any water on the floor. There's a carpet, so that will make
that's
sense.
why it makes me nervous.
That
That's
will
why
make
I
sense.
asked if you put sand in your balloon.
But it's gonna be outdoor. Of course, I'm not getting a water weight. It's gonna
well,
be
as long as
outdoor.
you do it before, because I think I would have made me nervous to get somewhere and be like, can I use your bathroom? to fill up my balloon?"
you just
or whatever. So, okay.
hose or water faucet. They have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and so one other thing that I wanted to mention that I
Mhm.
don't have in my kit, but it's just kind of a tip. When you're filling up Mylar balloons, if they're
Mhm.
letters or numbers, you don't want the seams to go all the way out. And this might be obvious, forgive me if this is obvious. When you're doing orbs, you want the seams to go all the way to the end, right? So that's way it'll look really full. But I was on an install. Okay, so these are your orbs, right? And so at the seams, you want them to go all the way. It's gonna make a pop when it inflates, but you want to fill it up 100% because you don't want to see the creases in it. I've looked on Instagram and seen a lot of people that don't inflate them enough, and it just doesn't look as pretty. But when you're inflating numbers and letters, you want to have the crinkles. And the reason I say that is because I was at an install and I was inflating a Z. And I did it too much because I had the mindset of it was an orb and it was the same thing. And it's not. And it popped and I only had one. So take a backup, charge accordingly, but take multiples of whatever letters if that's what you're doing, or numbers.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't have the time to run and get another number or another
the
letter.
client was so nice. As soon as he heard it pop, he texted me the closest party store, which is 30 minutes away. So that really put a wrinkle in my day.
Yeah.
So carry
A
multiples.
wrinkle like this one, you see?
Yeah, a big wrinkle. Took 30 minutes, an hour actually, to go back and forth to get one balloon. So anyway.
Not again.
Side tip I have for you. I think the last thing that I've got here, or two things, are oh my gosh, what is this called? Why am I blanking?
The
Twine.
twine,
Yep.
Bill?
Yeah, well, we have what we call rigging line.
Rigging line,
Rigging
which is
line.
probably better and more official.
Oh, we have another one there.
Because a lot of vendors will ask you to hang signs for them. So twine or rigging line is probably better, just to have, because a lot of time signs go on your balloon decor. Bill's got that. There you go. Thank you, sir. Rigging line, which is amazing, and that'll show less. And then these are floral cutters, because a lot of times when you have floral in your garlands, I use fake floral because I feel like it sits better, and also probably I don't have enough experience with it yet.
With floral?
But yeah, but if you need to cut it.
Speaking about floral, how do you charge for floral? Is it an add-on from your balloon garland?
It's an add-on from the
Okay.
garland. It depends on how much it is.
Okay.
And also where I'm going, because you have to keep in mind you're gonna have to go back to get it. The times that I haven't, which has been one or two, I've gotten bitten because my floral has grown legs and walked off. So I've learned that you need to charge for it, and you need to keep in mind how big you're going. It's just the kind of thing I think somebody told me when I was a kid, like, don't lend out anything you can't bear to part with. So something might happen to the floor, right? It might rain, a little girl might walk off with it, or whatever. Who knows? But you need to kind of take that into account when you're pricing out floral. My floral pricing starts at $75 and it goes all the way up to $250. It just depends on what it is.
And
how
the
big-
quantity and colors.
yeah,
or...
quantity, colors, if I have it. I had a client ask recently for a certain flower that I didn't carry and I don't carry, and I was like, "You're welcome to go get it." It just wasn't something that I even liked, or I didn't feel like it would go with anything else.
So if they get their own floral, did you place that in your garland, or they do it by themselves?
So something that I have, that's a good question. I have conversations with clients because they don't know, in my opinion, I'll say this, unless you're like super experienced, like Jesus, he's a floral master. In my opinion, faux floral looks better. It sits better, it stands up well, it's not gonna wilt. And clients don't realize that. They don't realize that the fake usually looks better. And so I've had clients buy real floral and want to place it, and it's usually just not enough because you're not thinking about when you're doing a garland how much floral that you need, because you usually need a lot to have an impact. Because if you just come up like with a bouquet that you buy at like Publix or Kroger, you just should probably put that in a vase and put it right next to it because it's not even gonna make an impact. You're not gonna see it enough because the balloons typically are so big and make such an impact anyway. You've got to have a ton of floral. If you think you have enough, get more.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's it. Do you have anything to add of business cards? I have
Business
I have
cards?
business cards because I have people ask for one, or I've got a QR code.
Do you
in the back
do you
of
leave
mine.
it to the owner of the house, or do you glue or stick them to one of your balloons? How do you leave your cards?
No, that's a good idea. I've seen other artists. I think Blown Out of Proportion does that. She'll leave like a little like keychain with a tag. I just haven't gotten there yet. It's on the to-do list. And some people will do like the vinyl cutouts and put them on a balloon. You could use a balloon dash.
Okay,
like
so what I do is just have a balloon dash. These are like the double-sided tape, and I have my card with the QR code there, and then I just place it in 2 or 3 balloons during the garland, like,
So like this.
hiding.
Yeah,
Just hiding. Like, I'm gonna place one here, one to the other side, and just in different spots.
that's smart.
And then just look to one corner, to the other corner, and just have the QR so people can look for it.
Okay,
And don't be like that visible, but just to the side.
just enough.
So when people, oh, that's the person who made the balloons, you know,
Right.
like, and take a picture or something. So,
Oh, that's very smart. Thanks, Linda.
and the business cards, okay, all the time. What else?
I think that's it.
Yeah?
Are there any questions?
Do you have any questions,
I have
guys?
so much stuff. I feel like.
Okay. Do you have any questions, guys? We're gonna answer some questions right now. Thank you, Lonnie.
No, thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Thank you
Yes.
for having me. I think one thing to like remember is you can never be over prepared. There's no such thing, and it's such a time saver if something happens and you have one of these tools. And I'm sure there's things that I haven't come across and will continue to that I'll realize that I need. But as of right now, like these are the main things that I use on a regular basis.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about you, Lonnie. How do you start with the balloon business idea?
Okay. Well, it was the pandemic, and I was working in fundraising and real estate. I hated real estate. It just wasn't for me. I like to make people happy, and balloons typically do that. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Then somebody said, well, what would you do if you could do it for free and pursue that? I'd done a couple garlands for friends for baby showers and birthdays. So I said, let me try this. Let me see. So I went down a rabbit hole on social media and realized it was a thing. It was a real thing. I ran into Jesus with Bravest Balloons, saw that he had an online class, and I took one. I remember I was driving down to South Georgia with my family, and I watched it online on my phone, and my head exploded. I was like, oh my God, I can do this. Like, this is so much better than that strip. And so then a couple days later, I came into PS Helium, and I met Mr. Bill and Judy, and a few weeks later, I met you, Linda, and Three Bright Lights Balloons was born. I got the name because I have 3 small kids. I've got 2 boys and a girl. They're 2, 4, and 5.
So there's the next question. How do you balance being a mother and working like the fundraising that you do and doing the balloons? How do you balance everything?
There isn't a thing as balance. I think every week is different because every week has a different like volume or whatever. My biggest challenge, I think, with everything has been social media. I had a lady reach out to me a couple weeks ago. I was like, "Are you still in business?" And
Why? Why did they ask that question?
I thought it was
Lonnie?
really funny that she asked that, but not because I hadn't posted in 4 months. I'm really active on my stories, but so I'm trying to be a lot better about that. But I was limiting my installs on Sundays. And I'm still doing that because Sundays I'm trying to reserve for my family. Now that did not happen in the month of May because it was May.
Yeah.
It was graduation season, and so far my observation is that May is the busiest month, or has been for me, I guess. And also right now I'm trying to limit how far I'll go. Right. For the first year I was going all over Atlanta. And I live in Brazelton, which is off the Chateau Alon exit, middle of Chateau Alon.
Yeah.
So I live a couple miles from it. So to get to Woodstock, it's 90 miles.
Yeah,
from
it's
my home.
quite a drive.
Right. So if I'm limiting the distance that I'll go.
Johnny Kindry says he loves you.
That's my husband, by the way, which he's amazing. He's got a lot of patience. My husband recently did a huge fringe install for us, which was really great. I just kept telling him how great of a job he was doing while he was on the ladder. So anyway,
You're doing great, babe.
You're doing good. Thank you so much. So I'm still paying for that one. But anyways, my kids like balloons, so that's good. They're used to seeing them now. I work out of our basement. It's kind of a dungeon in there when it gets hot. I have a full stock, and I'm in PS Helium regularly. And I've learned so much from you guys, so thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, so we have a little surprise, right, Lonnie?
Yeah, we do
so
have a
for
surprise.
the people here.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna have some kind of sale or discount for our online customers from now until midnight, and you can let them know the code, and I'm
Okay.
gonna write it there. Okay.
So the code is Lonnie20. It's LONI20. And from now until midnight, you get 20% off online orders. So exciting. I'm going home right now to use that code myself.
Yeah. Too bad that we sold out on the gold. I know people, but we're gonna get some more. Okay.
Okay, we've got more gold coming, right?
Coming. Yeah. We're just waiting. Okay. We need
That's
to be
okay.
patient. Yeah. So let me pin this so you know that will be the code, and you're gonna have a 20% discount on online orders from now until midnight. Okay. So you have any other questions, guys? If not, we're gonna say thank you to Lonnie.
Thank you for having me. I
Okay.
appreciate it. I hope this helps somebody.
Of course it helps, okay? Please, let's give some hearts there to Lonnie to say thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys so much.
You did great, they say. Okay, they
Oh.
love your answers too, okay?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, officially following you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I love it. I'll post more.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Okay, so Spanish, yeah. Sorry guys, I forgot about the Spanish version. I can do it a little. I just forgot, you know. Sorry.
It's a life
Okay,
goal.
so I'm gonna go like a walkthrough here in Spanish, okay? Of the things that Lonnie used. No, you have to say there. Lonnie,
Okay, I just stay here.
So, ¿qué es lo que usa Lonnie para sus installs? Primero que todo, esta bolsa, okay, de la marca Bug. Ella la compró en Amazon, okay? Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
and they have knockoffs that
Okay.
are just as good. Poshmark also.
En Poshmark también lo tiene, ¿ok? Esa es la bolsa que ella utiliza. De las cosas que ella tiene adentro, por supuesto, va a tener lo que es la máquina para inflar los globos. Va a tener hooks o adhesivos para poder ponerlo en exteriores. También tiene lo que son balloon strips y también esos que son los balloon strips y también los que son de doble pega, ¿ok? Tenemos los globos 260. Los tiene así completos. para cuando va a poder amarrar las guirnaldas, y también los corta en la mitad para poder utilizar los 5 ya amarrados en la guirnalda final. Tiene tijeras, tiene por lo menos 3 pares de tijeras en su bolsa, 3. Tiene unas tenazas para flores. No es que hace muchas flores, pero sí los tiene por si, para que estén ahí manejables y los tenga a mano para su kit, ¿ok? ¿Está secure? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Tiene lo que es el Mega Shine. Este es un nuevo producto que nos acaba de llegar también. Es aerosol. Es para un abrillantador de globos, que es muy popular. Lo pueden ver por todo TikTok. También utiliza lo que es el Balloon Glow Pro. Este tiene como tipo un aerosol que es un poquito más como de mist, o distribuye un poquito más compleja la parte de los globos, ¿ok? Tiene un poco de cinta. Any color of ribbon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I prefer white or silver because it's universal and it's not gonna clash most
Sí,
of the time.
utiliza un poco de cinta para que. For what do you use the ribbon?
For balloons, for helium balloons,
Mhm.
I also use it if I'm out of 260s. It's something that I can have to secure a garland. I'll use it to secure anything. It's kind of it's like the tape. Like there's
Okay.
really a zillion uses for it.
Utiliza la cinta ya sea blanco o color silver para poder tener ahí extra, ya sea para los globos que utilizan helio, que van flotando, o para poder hacer amarres por si se le acaban los 260 a ella durante la instalación, ¿ok? Vamos a ver. Tiene también lo que se llama este gaffer tape o gaffer power, como pueden ver. También lo tiene, este viene en diferentes colores, dependiendo si la pared es blanca o es negra, lo pueden buscar, gaffer tape. También tiene lo que es una pompa manual para los globos que son de foil o los mylar, ¿ok? Y también tiene un fishing line, que para poder amarrar de lugares, ya sea como un árbol o un pole, para dar ese tipo de cobertura y que no se vaya a desamarrar nada de su guirnalda, ¿ok? Anything else?
Yeah, I think I left off this.
What is that?
So this is a Swiffer. It's
Okay.
like a handheld one, and it had a handle, but it just keeps coming off.
Mhm.
My experience, balloons are the greatest lint picker upper.
Mhm.
And you can put them in bags, but if you take them out and they get anything, and also critters really love balloons. But I'll just at the end when I'm done installing, I'll take it and I'll kind of wipe them down.
Mhm.
And I've had clients kind of laugh, like, "Oh my God, you're dusting a balloon." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't want random things on there. It just kind of makes it look messy." So it's just something extra at the end to kind of have a finishing touch. So if there's-
Swiffer is the brand.
Yep, Swiffer's the brand.
Ok, so esa es una marca, es como un tipo de para sacar el polvo, se llama Swiffer la marca, ok, y esto es cuando ella termina ya la guirnalda, lo hace para limpiar los globos de un lado y el otro. La gente se ríe de ella, a veces los clientes diciéndole que por qué está sacudiendo los globos, pero es para quitar todo tipo de pizcas o pelos o algo que se haya pegado o bichitos, lo que sea. Esto es de mucha utilidad. Ujú.
Yep.
Anything else?
Oh yeah.
Tenemos también un poco de tape también, packing tape o el tape normal transparente. Recuerden que este tipo de tape es el transparente, el que no es blanco, sino que tiene que verse del otro lado, así, ¿ok? Packing tape. También tiene aquí el peso. Ella utiliza pesos para poder ponerlos en la guirnalda cuando está. Pueden utilizar este tipo de pesas, lo pueden hacer con agua, lo pueden ustedes también anclar con este tipo de hooks en el piso. Entonces depende de la manera que ustedes lo hagan. Entonces creo que ahí está el resumen en español. ¿Ok?
Oh, the apron.
They're saying that the brand of your basket. Okay.
Bog.
La,
B-O-G-G.
ok, la marca de la basket es Bog. B-O-G-G. B-O-G-G. Bog. ¿Ok? Y también tenemos aquí lo que es un delantal. Para poder tener todas las herramientas a mano, ya sea sus tijeras, sus tenazas, los globos extra, etcétera, snacks, todo lo demás, ¿ok? Con eso no podemos dejar de vivir. ¿Estamos?
Time saver on a ladder.
Yes.
I'm
Cuando
kidding.
están en una escalera les va a salvar mucho tiempo, ¿ok? Good?
Yeah, great.
Ok, esa fue la parte de español rapidita. Sorry, I forgot, guys. Se me olvidó para hablar en español en lo que iba con Lonnie, pero ya, we translated everything, ¿ok?
Thank you.
What are you talking
We're
about?
12 followers away from 25K.
What? People, please share it to your friends. We're 12 followers away from our 25K followers in PS Helium.
Let's help.
Yeah,
Share.
so we need those 12 followers. Please just send this over, okay?
Thank
Lonnie,
you.
they're saying that the code is not working. Isn't it working? The code? Lonnie 20?
We'll double check.
We'll double check
So-
and then you can proceed with your orders, okay? Vamos a chequear lo del código para que les funcione para las órdenes. Para los que están preguntando acerca del dorado, se nos acabó todo. Sold out en menos de una hora. Teníamos un poco de Calizan, así que ni modo. Ok, Bogotá, Colombia, no. Todavía no hacemos pedidos internacionales, únicamente para Estados Unidos y Canadá. Ok, US and Canada for orders. Ok, yes, bug. Good.
Thank you, Linda. It's so beautiful. I want to just extend
Yeah, Lonnie has like something in her bucket list. I need to teach her how to speak
Yes.
Spanish, okay?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, anything else, guys? Thank you for joining today. We're going to see you soon in
Yes,
another
absolutely.
PS Spotlight. And we really appreciate Lonnie, okay, with
Thank
oral
you.
knowledge here, okay? And
It's
here's her
all
account, as you can see,
of
Reaper
my
Lights. Yes.
experience. Thank you, Linda. Thank you
Anything
for having
else?
me.
Lonnie?
No, I think that's it.
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, guys. Bye. Have a good one, okay?
Bye. Have a good one.